So I don't know anything about pricing. Except for that we all are paying too much for our policies because there's fraud in it. We have to make up for fraud. So this presentation is going to exceed, but first I want to understand who has ever heard about FRISS and what we do. Can you raise your hands, please? Okay, that's not too much, too bad. Okay, very short, because then I'm going to go over to the presentation. We support insurance companies in fighting fraud. And we support honest insurance. And today I have some honest chocolate with me, so pay attention. It's really good. You have a chance of winning a few bars. Why are we here? Because last year we decided also to work for the CEE countries, and I'm very proud to say that due to the fact that we now are servicing companies like Unica and VIG, we have a great way of helping out in the CEE countries as well, and we're really looking forward to learning and working together with a lot of insurance companies in that region. So let's see if it works. It works too well. Okay, so the question is, what percentage of insurance actually have an investigations unit in place, a special investigations unit in place? Well, you all saw the percentage, so I now have to skip one bar of chocolate. That was the trick, of course. So how do I know this? What we did in 2016, we did a survey amongst 160 people in 25 countries, over 50 different insurance companies, to get an understanding of their processes within digitization and fighting fraud, the challenge of fighting fraud in that. To give you a bit of context on what that means, this is the percentage spread over whom participated in the survey. Otherwise, maybe the figures won't say anything to you, but it gives you a bit of an example of who all were involved. And even general management took the time to answer the question, so we were very happy with that. And then if you look at the roles themselves, lots of specialists, of course. Also, again, lots of managers and VPs that actually took the time to fill out the survey. So, some more figures. This is a lab. And in general, I'm not going to tell you everything that came out of the survey because I'm going to meet the 15 minutes. What's clear is everybody is talking about digitization, and there is some progress in digitizing, but if you compare it to other industries, we're really behind. And if you look at what's happening, then the digitization compared to what they do with fraud in it, because things will become more automized, actually is a bit disappointing. Come to that, back to that later. So this makes sense, right? If you ask the questions, for whom is fraud a priority, it's mostly the claims department. But on the other hand, that's also a bit sad, because if you estimate, and of course it's different per region and country, if you have a lot of agencies, you probably have a lot of fraud. That's things that we detect, that we see. We're well spread over about 14 countries right now, and we see a lot of different cultures, to say the least. And what you will see is that especially getting the whole organization up to speed on fraud is really lacking behind. It says only 60%, but bear in mind, this 60% includes those companies that only have some manual tasks in trying to fight and find fraud in claims. It's mostly then, of course, with the claims adjusters who are trained a little bit, but that's it. And that's why it's flipping a coin. Now, what's the big challenge for us all? Of course, it's data. We started off this morning with data. Data is the big problem because data quality is not there. And this is one of the challenges for most of the insurance companies to actually make a difference and get there. It's not just internal data, it's also the usage of external data, as we saw this morning as well. And again, per country, you have different legislation, you have different regulatories, but getting good external data can really help in not only fighting fraud in claims, but also really understanding your risks during the underwriting process. So who doesn't want to fight fraud? I have an Italian, or is it Mexican plate, Italian plate? But it's a kind of a Dutch word because in In the Netherlands, we love to bring our food ourselves and share it with each other, and that's not because we think the other one cooks that well, but it's good to save costs. So 50% of the insurance is not yet sharing data with other insurers. Or I should say 50% of the insurers not yet sharing data is willing to do so. So one of the big challenges here also is, and for example in Germany it's really difficult, but in a lot of other countries it's really easy to share data. And why would we not work with each other to stop those people who are abusing the system? I mean, insurance is a beautiful thing because it gives us the opportunity to travel here without being worried too much. So why not help each other out? Why don't we share data if we have the possibility to do so and make insurance a bit more honest? Uh-oh. Okay. Be careful now. So, at what percentage of the insurance is fighting fraud a manual task? Come on, guys. Only a few minutes before coffee and you want a piece of chocolate. 85%? Who said 60? Yeah, 85, 60. Somebody in the back? Are we awake? Sorry? 70? Who said, sorry, the last one? 35? Now I have to do my math. It's 45. So I'm going to share this. Who said 35?
I was not close. I was 85. Oh, actually. You were close. You share it. We'll not forget. Yes.
And one of the things we also found is that only 90% of the insurance provide fraud awareness trainings to the sales departments. Now, sales is not interested in fraud, but they are responsible for a big part of our process. If they are aware, you will have big benefits later on in the process.